For a good portion of my life, I've kind of been alone. I say that because I wasn't always like this. Somewhere there was a bit of a shift where I started really not, well, not, I'd say I started to be more comfortable being alone. And I'm not someone that's never really had friends or anything like that. I ain't that type of loner. Um, it's more just I got comfortable being alone. I've always had friends, always had lots of friends. Even at one point, I had 5 different friend groups. Um, I would say when I was younger, I had uh, I had a good amount of friends. Um, but then the shift between primary school and high school happened. I wasn't one of those lucky ones that was able to go to the same school that all my friends went to. The high school that I went to was one where only I knew only one person from my former school, my primary school, and I say yeah, we were good friends actually. So it worked out for me, and then I made friends at high school. But somewhere in high school, I stopped really caring about things to the point at which, and I guess I'd say I stopped really caring about friends to the point at which I became more comfortable being alone. Now, don't get me wrong, I felt my friends are cool and all, but like at least outside of school, I was more comfortable just being alone. I wasn't really like trying to hang out with my friends or anything. Like I had friends at home in my area, but even then, I was starting to less frequently hang out with them. And in terms of my friends that I had in primary school, most of them I lost contact with. So at least for me, it became easier to be alone, I guess. Um, it's actually crazy that I say that because when I was younger, at least in primary school, I had this crippling feeling of loneliness. Um, and I kind of got attached to my friends and the friendships that I made. As I grew older, though, I started to realize that, I mean, I could have, I wouldn't say maybe have a good time, but I was more at peace at home. Well, not at home, sorry, alone. I was more at peace just alone. Like, it was to the point at which, at least for me, when it came to the internet, I was a bit late, even though age would dictate that. In terms of my age now, it would dictate that I grew up on the internet, but I mostly wasn't really on the internet until like COVID, when I had to like forcefully stay at home and shit. But even then, like I was so inclined to being alone that I used to play single player games like for most of my life. Even now, I don't even like playing online with my friends. Um, I don't really know how it started or what was the shift, but yeah, the older I got, it just became more comfortable, more seemed like always a better option, more peaceful, quieter. I didn't have to get out of my comfort zone. When in fact, I'd say I used to. I was never a very introvert, extrovert. Sorry, I was never really an extrovert, but and I've always been more inclined to be introverted, even though somehow I made a lot of friends throughout my lifetime. But I was more introverted, and that's just I don't know. I guess being alone made it easier to just not really be outside of my comfort zone. But it's strange because it wasn't always my comfort zone. Being alone wasn't always my comfort zone. It used to be something I feared. It's funny how things plan out. What actually made me think of this idea was recently I've been getting into a lot of Tame Impala's music. A bit late, but yeah, never too late as long as I'm alive. Um, and there's this album he has, Lonerism, and I really resonate with a lot of the themes of the album. Obviously, loneliness and stagnation. Yeah, I resonate a lot with it. Um, and it is in the words of Tame Impala, feels like I'm moving backwards. Um, yeah, don't know where specifically I started. Yeah, I still fuck with my friends that I have now. Um, as time passed, I had less and less friends. Simply because life happens. You're not going to retain all the friends you had throughout your lifetime. You could have 100 friends. You're not going to keep all that 100 by the time you get older. I'm not really like old or anything. I'm still young, very young. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something to think about, I guess.